Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Hearthstone deck spotlight. My name is Tommy Wave, and today we'll be taking a look at CloudedGames Even Warlock. This deck comes to us courtesy of Hearthstone. Once again, if you are watching on YouTube, all the Hearthstone links are always in the description. But CloudedGames here has come up with a really interesting build of Even Warlock. Even Warlock has been one of the biggest parts of the metagame, essentially since the release of the Witchwood expansion with Gen and Baku. Kind of came out as one of the premier seemingly control decks, but definitely mid-range decks, being able to play turn 3 or turn 4 Mountain Giants very consistently, being a huge threat, playing other awesome huge mid-range bodies like Twilight Drake, alongside a lot of kind of these 6 and 8 drop just haymakers, if you will. But what CloudedGames has done is gone for a bit more of a targeted approach with what they're seeing on the ladder, what they're seeing in the meta, trying to do that meta breaking stuff that we all hear about all the time, but whether or not it's true needs to be seen. So we'll go through a couple of the card choices here. A lot of very typical things here, as you can see on the 2s, we've got Acidic Swampers, Defiles, Doomsayers, Plated Beetles, Sun Fury Protectors, Vulgar Homunculus. These are all very typical Even Warlock cards, maybe not in the numbers that you'd expect them, kind of interesting seeing one Plated Beetle, one Doomsayer, really it makes you think that there's been a measured approach to these kind of numbers. But the odd one out here is the Crazed Alchemist. 2 mana 2/2. Definitely seen play in the past in this kind of slot as just a nice tech 2-drop. Very good against 0 attack minions. But it says Battlecry, swap the attack and health of a minion. So we'll get into what that means for this deck a little bit later. Onto the 4-drops, we've got, once again, very typical stuff. Hellfire, Hooked Reaver, Lesser Amethyst Spellstone, Shroom Brewer, Spellbreakers, Twilight Drakes, all very common Even Warlock things. We've also got an Arena Fanatic in here, which, as we are drawing quite a lot of cards, the Arena Fanatic Battlecry can go off and just give us quite a huge buff for our hand, which could be relevant in some matches. I know, I believe CloudedGames does say that in some matchups it is very, very relevant to give that kind of buff to your hand, but that this Arena Fanatic is kind of in a bit of a throwaway slot, and you could replace it with another Spellbreaker or something along those lines. Onto the kind of thicker part of the deck, we've got a Singleton Dread Infernal here, Gen, of course, then we've got a Bone Mare, Lich King, Gul'dan, 2 Mountain Giants, all very straightforward stuff, but the real spice here is that we've got a Marin the Fox and a Mosh Og Enforcer. Now, one of the great things about Hearthstone is that people often do a bit of a write-up with their decks. CloudedGames mentions that the idea behind Marin the Fox is that one of the biggest decks in the format right now is like a Resurrect Combo Priest or Cloning Gallery Priest, these types of decks. And Marin the Fox putting a treasure chest in your opponent's dead pool can kind of goof up their combos a little bit. It also synergizes well with Crazed Alchemist, as we can use the Crazed Alchemist to pop the chest immediately and get the goodies that are inside. And it also, Crazed Alchemist, combos quite well with Moshog Enforcer, as we can, is Taunt, Divine Shield, big health pool, likely to stick around unless your opponent has some kind of very specific hard removal. And then you can kind of switch gears on your opponent with the Crazed Alchemist, hit them for 14, and that can be allow you to close the game out, especially if you've done some damage with some early Mountain Giants or Twilight Drakes, these kinds of things. So really excited to kind of pull that off. But yeah, other than that, big shout out to CloudedGames for including such a detailed write-up. I really appreciate that. They've even included a mulligan guide, which we'll try to follow during the games. But without further ado, let's jump in, see if we can get some wins with this very interesting Even Warlock from CloudedGames. Okay, here we are, up against a warrior with CloudedGames Even Warlock. Alright, let's bring up this this mulligan guide here. Up against the warrior, we want to see Mountain Giants, Twilight Drakes, and Acidic Swampers. Well, there's a Twilight Drake. We'll send everything else back. No Mountain Giant, it's unfortunate. That's nuts, what the hell. I work like 4 nights and I'm happy with that. Yeah, honestly, like, it's really interesting to think that, like, culturally,
none will survive.
I think a lot of people and this could be different to where you live versus where I live, but I think people are often taught that, like, you have to be working full time. And that even if it, you know, you just got to suck it up and go to work and do your 40 hours, do your 38 hours, do your overtime. You just got to suck it up. But more and more, I think generations lately have been figuring out that, you know, if you can work part-time, or if you can work, you know, 20, 30 hours or whatever, and you can maintain a good life balance with things outside of that, then that's totally viable. That, you know, you shouldn't, we shouldn't try and rain on people's parades. I definitely learnt that the hard way after working full time at a call center for multiple years, where like money is good, but money definitely doesn't buy happiness. It can buy happiness, but it doesn't buy you. It doesn't buy you good mental health. There's also more opportunity for people to work less, I feel like. Employers are more open to things like working from home or other alternatives. Yeah, in some industries, you're definitely right. There's definitely a lot of, you know, professionalism out there from some employers. And we could coin this Twilight Drake out. Or coin out like a Shroom Brewer. I'll go with the Twilight Drake. It may not be a 410, but I think a 4-9 is just as good. But yeah, I mean, the real issues come into play when, you know, people start living beyond their means in those situations, or when they are, you know, forced into those particular situations whilst already having like a insurmountable workload, i.e. like a single parent going from full-time to part-time when they really need that that money. That's when things get really, really sticky. Well, we got the combo. See if they have a super collider. That could be pretty tasty right here. Big fan of double super collider in any, pretty much any warrior build, particularly Odd Warrior. There it is. I think he wanted to hit the other one. I guess it doesn't matter if they're going to trade in the owl. Oh, right on time. I think we'll tap here. Was definitely considering just deploying a bunch of small minions, but not too enthused at our opponent being able to like hero power reckless flurry.
I see lunch now, dinner.
Do we use the Crazed Alchemist on it? Probably. I mean, it's going to be really hard to remove otherwise.
I'm like everyone's biggest fan!
You love my new recipe.
You're looking at me.
Job done.
Obviously, draw last because we're a very impressive Hearthstone player. Never draw last, friends. There's the second super collider. Pretty good hit too. How do we not get wrecked by this
So
super
many
collider?
possibilities.
Can like
Shields up.
Sun Fury Protector here, then again Greymane here.
Has become our greatest strength.
Maybe this provokes a brawl. Oh, that's pretty good. I can take 7 to clear this out. A little bot that could, Dynamatic. We obviously won't tap here because we're going to get a Lich King card and then draw a card from our deck. Not sure if Anti-Magic Shell is too good. I think this turn we're concerned about our opponent having maybe like a shield block or something floating around in their hand with a shield slam.
I wonder.
And any shield slam is just bad for us here. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's pretty bad too. That's really bad. Oh, Faceless Manipulator. That's a pretty good card.
One for all and all for me.
I couldn't try.
Back in a bit. Getting my gamer on. Go for it, 5k. Let me know what you're playing. Ironbeak Owl, silence the chest. Nice. So I think I've seen this build of Odd Warrior before with the double Ironbeak Owl, double Faceless Manipulator. Kind of became quite popular about a month ago, I would say. Was very good in the mirror match back when Odd Warrior was kind of rising to popularity and seeing a lot of usage. The double Faceless Manipulator version came out as being just the best version to play in the mirror, I believe. Could definitely be wrong.
I must choose.
Looks like we are getting buried under some Lich Kings.
On guard.
Don't tell me what to do.
Upgrade both of our Spellstones here, so we are prepared to at least deal with the Lich King when it comes back down, but this is a lot of armor. Maybe Gul'dan can save us, but
I've got the beast
not.
in my
Whoa, BGH. Whoa. Our opponent is wrecking us, as they say. We can't play both of these hooked Reavers because they will get killed by this Super Collider. Whew.
So many possibilities.
There's Gul'dan. Wrecked? Yeah, we're getting wrecked a bit, Jimbo.
Warriors of the frozen wastes, rise.
That's a pretty good draw.
Pathetic.
Shields up!
Oh, what did we steal? The Moshog Enforcer? Damn it!
By the rules.
Alright, super collided down. We can start focusing on doing stuff. I think we'll go for the Gul'dan here. We've drawn enough, we gotta start turning the corner and not dying. Sure, our opponent will have the Brawl, the Reckless Flurry. Reckless Flurry particularly good because it won't kill the Moshog Enforcer.
This jungle hides many secrets.
Okay, I mean, they don't have Reckless Flurry if they're playing Elise first. We might actually be able to sneak this anti-magic shell off. Maybe they got their own anti-magic shell. Yeah, there we go. What do we do here? Feels like we want to get this Mountain Giant out this turn because it kind of is losing equity over time as we fill our hand up. But I think we actually need the taunt.
Pitiful mortal. I must feed better now.
Alright, so we've gone through both of their Lich King cards, right? Or did they have 3? Is this the Reckless Flurry? Yeah. It's okay. We are so much deeper on fatigue, though. Yucky. We just gotta hope that our opponent somehow bricks multiple turns in a row. It doesn't hit the removal. Bunny, what is going on? Cora and I are watching from bed. Well, hopefully you're nice and snuggly and enjoying this reasonably weathered morning.
I'm almost out of cards.
Almost out of cards. This is a lot of armor to bash through. They still have a shield slam, right? I think they should still have a shield slam. This Diehorn Brawl.
Engaging TC-130 into dislocator.
I'm out of cards.
He could double Hellfire them. I think we'll just go for the Spellstone here. Surely at some point they have to just go like minion brawl and hope for the 66% chance. That deck does have a lot of like mind control techs, that kind of stuff in it. Bulldozer. Feels like this is our best chance, is to get this aggression in. Hope our opponent has to you know, brawl or whatever, and then we have Hellfire, Hero Power for 9 damage worth of burst. But that thing now has lifelink, so oof. Yuck. I don't think we could have stopped that. Definitely not stopping that.
Your magic shall not save me.
Once again, we'll just try and get as much face damage in. I'm surprised this game is this tight. As long as we have a minion in play, we have a chance. Because if we don't have any minions in play, then our opponent's hero power outraces ours. So this is like the last turn. If our opponent has a good answer here, gets like lucky with a brawl or has a shield slam for our Spellbreaker.
Die, mage.
I think that's game. I don't think we can possibly... Well, our opponent might goof, so... See if our opponent goofs. And the only way I can see it happening is that they, like... play a weapon, attack our Spellbreaker, don't armor up. That Ziliax was so good.
Light the fuses!
Yeah, unfortunately, we can double Hellfire, have a munch in our opponent's face, but then they can just armor up next turn and we can never get them down. So, well played to our opponent. They had some sick ones there. Faceless Manipulator for our Lich King, had the Silence for our Marin the Fox treasure chest. So our opponent definitely had us dominated there. Even had the big game hunter. So maybe it's time to explore that Odd Warrior again. Seemed like it was a pretty good matchup for them. Regardless. GG's, on with the next one.
I am your nightmare.
Okay, here we are with CloudedGames Even Warlock in the mirror. So we'll once again look at our mulligan guide. Try and figure this out. Looks like Mountain Giant Doomsayer Twilight Drake is the call. So we'll do exactly as they say. We'll keep that Twilight Drake. Tommy Wave. The one and only. Hope you're well. I'm doing very well, Jimbo. It's fantastic to see you.
We have turned
How have you been?
into our
What have you been up to? How's the week treating you? halfway through it. So no mountain giant, at least not yet.
You're so sweet.
Munch. We could tap here. I mean, Gnome Ferratu is a weird one where part of me thinks that this could mean it's control. Part of me thinks that it could be some kind of... Didn't we play like an aggro deck that was playing like Gnome Ferratus in there? I think we'll go for the Vulgar Homunculus system. We also don't have the Mountain Giant right now. It's really unfortunate. Jimbo, I've been sick, had a cold the past week. Ugh. Munch. Oh, we don't get to find out how good Arena Fanatic is.
You love my new recipe.
You love my new recipe. That definitely sucks. Definitely sucks. And especially lately, I've been mortally scared of getting sick. Just because I know how I get with like a week off. We could Hellfire here. I think I want to get this big Twilight Drake out there.
Don't rush me.
Getting better now. I'm glad that you're on the mend. Yeah, I definitely remember the times like being in school or whatever where I'm like, I wish I could get sick. I don't want to do anything. These days it's like, I can't get sick. I have so much to do. I mean, Doomsday is fine. Obviously we won't tap because we want to keep these cards in hand. And I think this coin might have a little bit of value for us. Especially once we get this other Twilight Drake out of our hand.
Shields up.
Well, we're getting pretty close to Hook Reaver territory. I think I'll just go for a tap and again here. Try and get some big body boys out here. Make our opponent have to have like a Twisting Nether or something like that. What did I study in school? So in high school, I was more... high school is an interesting experience. But in uni, I did a year of business information systems, like business and IT. It's very boring. And in TAFE, I dropped out of that after a year. But in TAFE, I did audiovisual tech. So I learned a lot about recording, live recording, After Effects, editing, just all that kind of stuff. Did I finish a degree? I did not. No, that year of business information systems was one of the... It was terrible. It was just not enjoyable. Definitely glad that I did not persist with it. Never persist with something if you're not enjoying it. Hot tip. Possibly shouldn't have killed that, right? Because then if they have the Gul'dan here, it's going to come back. That's true. But yeah, there was definitely those times back in high school where I was like, oh, just let me be sick so I don't have to do any schoolwork for a month.
I wonder. Unity, precision, perfection.
But yeah, I mean, I've definitely thought about going back to school to finish things off. And when I did TAFE, I did finish my certificate, which was really fun. We might have lethal here with a
What do you
Hellfire.
ask of me?
Yeah, we definitely do. Whoops. Got him. GG's. Okay, here we are with CloudedGames even Warlock up against a druid. Let's take a look at the Mulligan guide. Says it's not a particularly challenging matchup. Mechathun Druid, Taunt Druid most popular. We're looking for Mountain Giant, Twilight Drake, Spellstone, and a Doomsayer. So let's send these things back. Let's try and hit that turn 4 Mountain Giant. Let's go. Ooh, there it is. Not a great supporting cast, but I guess we can just cross our fingers. Hope this isn't the 1 in a million players who is on Token Druid. And we got Gul'dan in the opener. Keeping it wavy, that's what counts. Been playing a whole bunch more BattleTech recently. Getting those big mech boys, it's so much fun. Just like the little customizations you can do. And I think the revamp that they did from the base game is just so minty fresh.
Time waits for no
Like they really balanced all the abilities quite well. Or rebalanced the abilities, because a couple of them were just hot garbage. We saw us. Nice lighting in the background. Thank you so much. So I've got 2 lights here. These were actually both a birthday present and a Christmas present from a very special person. And I will say that, I don't know, there's something very, to put it bluntly, there's something very nice just about being in a nice coloured room. I think after spending so many years in fluorescent lit office buildings, sometimes you just want to come home and you want to bathe in like blue light or red light or green or whatever. It's one of those like Wi-Fi Wi-Fi lights. You can adjust it all, LEDs. You can get the whole color palette going. Looks like our opponent here has DC'd. Yeah, alright. Well, okay, they're back. I guess they missed a... 2 Mountain Giants. Alright, so I think our opponent's back. Hopefully they didn't miss more than just a turn 2 hero power. Let's turn 3 hero power. I'm electing to stay in the game here. Which may mean that it wasn't as big a deal as it seemed. We'll have our 3 mana 8/8. Thank you. And next turn we'll have another one. This is definitely a pretty crushing draw. But if our opponent has a Naturalize in particular, which they could very well. There it is. So we're going to burn a couple cards here. We already have our Gul'dan though. Ooh, losing the Lich King is a rough one.
Shields up.
Let's just get some bodies out there. Start putting the aggression on. Both Spellstones. Spellstone SWAT. Okay. Bit of a predicament here. If we tap... I guess we can always just play this Acidic Swamp Ooze.
I got this.
Hope our opponent doesn't have a twig next turn. Smells like Mechathune. Sweet essence. Sweet essence. Sweet essence. Alright, let's see if we can defile all of this. So we have some 2s, we've got 4s. So we need a 1 and a 3. How do we create a 1 and a 3? By bumping these. So this will be at 1, this will be at 3, so defile will kill this, everything. Then we can follow up with like a maybe a tap and a Hooked Reaver.
I got this.
Sweet. And now we can start deploying our healing because all the Hooked Reavers are gone. In our deck are gone. Because we burnt one of them before. We might actually get to do this trick with the Moshog Enforcer. So, when I say trick, I mean this Crazed Alchemist with the Moshog Enforcer. Flip it to donk our opponent for big old 14 damage. I think we will get the Enforcer out there. We'll say that the Moshog Enforcer, even though Marin is good against most of those priest decks, most of those Resurrect priest decks, the Moshog Enforcer is a big liability against all the Mind Blaster priests playing Cabal Shadow Priest. I think that is the tastiest Cabal Shadow Priest target I've ever seen. Yeah, let's get that damage.
You love my new recipe. Whoa! Bubblies and yummies!
We have both of these spell stones. Yeah, we'll play this Vulgar Homunculus. Our opponent has the Spreading Plague here, that's going to suck for us, but I think we're in an alright position.
I concede.
Got him. Got him with the Moshog Enforcer. How about that? Big shout out to CloudedGames there for the sweet tech. GG's. Alright, we're here with CloudedGames Even Warlock. Just played a bunch of games with it, and honestly, I was really impressed. I think a lot of the card choices in here that you would say are a bit off the wall, off meta, are actually excellent choices. Particularly that Moshog Enforcer we saw. We were able to pull off the trick with Crazed Alchemist, and it's just a really solid body. Whilst I will say that it is a little bit of a liability against a lot of those Mind Blast priests out there because of its susceptibility to Cabal Shadow Priest and things like that, or Shadow Word Pain, these kind of cheaper answers to this large minion. I still think it's very, very good. Even the Arena Fanatic, in the one game that we did play it, it actually was quite relevant, provided massive stat buffs to things in our hand, allowed us to compete better on board, and all of a sudden these Sun Fury Protectors and these Plated Beetles, these kind of minions, they're a little bit more threatening when they're 3/4s as opposed to 2/3s. Not dying to your own Hellfire is also a pretty big deal, though I certainly wouldn't fault anyone for cutting the Arena Fanatic for maybe that Spellbreaker or Shroom Brewer or something along those lines, as CloudedGames did mention in their deck write-up. Marin the Fox as well, we didn't really see the matchup that it's included for, but I would say that if you are struggling against a lot of those, with Even Warlock, against a lot of those Resurrect Priests at the rank that you're at, then maybe consider Marin the Fox for the future. I guess my overall thing that I kind of want to take away from this is that Crazed Alchemist and the Crazed Alchemist effect seems like it's just good in general. And I'd like to start including more tech Crazed Alchemists in my Even Warlocks in the future, just to deal with, opposing Doomsayers, make combat math a little bit easier for us when we do have so many options in our hand. If we've got 8 or 9 cards in our hand, one of them is a Crazed Alchemist, all of a sudden our combat math is, it gives us another option to change that in a way that positively benefits ourselves. Makes trading easier, to put it nicely. Regardless, big shout out to CloudedGames for the deck. Once again, if you are watching on YouTube, all the links are in the description, including linked over to the Hearthstone deck article. Please jump over there, give CloudedGames a lovely +1, leave a lovely thoughtful comment, like I know you will. My details are down there as well, including a link over to Twitter. That's the best place to catch me, at Tommy_Wave. But until next time, stay safe, stay wavy, eat the rich, and swap some stats. Bye. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out other ones over here, or come subscribe to the Wave Pool for more excellent times.